us. You're watching SMB and Smart 24 TV. We're still talking about women empowerment and also attaining a sustainable living for themselves and also for those in business, how to do it better. We've got a lot of events coming in around the country. Internationally, it's a women celebration, Women's Day celebrations on 8th March. So that is as anticipated next week. But also, we are also in the country expecting a 450-kilometer walk from the Ministry of Water and Environment as it celebrates the Uganda Water and Environment Week. And the Ministry of Water and Environment will be flagging off that from 3rd of March to 18th of March, taking the eastern route there. So people around maybe Mbale, Iganga, Jinja, around Mokono areas up to Kabira Maido Lira will be embracing, Wiko as well, embracing that particular walk. And you expect a lot in regards to at least improving our environment and reserving forests and improving the climate change around there. Away from that, let us still head into continue with our discussion with YVONNE MPANGA here taking us through. Women have been categorized with vulnerable people, with the elderly, with the youth, and the disadvantaged. Why? Why do you think?
Why do I think so? You see, these are precedents. Society, from the word go, realized that fairness starts with recognizing some of the things that are ills or some of the flaws in some things. While I never thought that women were endangered species or were vulnerable, but from sociology way back it is said vulnerable groups, women, children, the disabled. I don't want to call it a stereotype because like I said in the beginning, women were okay, even the story of creation, women were supposed to be a support factor. Now why are they vulnerable? Vulnerability here does not necessarily mean that they are delicate, but if you don't treat them right, for example, when we look at if you don't do the right things with them, then you don't get the results you want from them. So women vulnerability here is not about inability to do anything, but recognition that they have strength elsewhere and weakness somewhere, which you have to harness for you to be able to get results from them. Then the youth, obviously, is because they need mental growth. They think they know it all. So they are vulnerable because they are likely to make the wrong decisions. Then those that are physically handicapped or disabled, because they may not have the physical and mental abilities like the others, they're vulnerable because we think they need a little bit of support. So vulnerability here is in society recognizing the need to get the best out of those particular groups, to be able to get them to actualize or optimize, to give them the best tools to be able to do well. So it is not that you're doing badly, you're vulnerable. No, it is that we recognize that if you don't have this support, then you may not be able to work as well as the male gender. And that is a natural
Joram, I like the answer. I think I feel satisfied with the answer, honestly.
What do you think? Do you think we're vulnerable? Because
no, sometimes women tend to bring in that, for instance, recently here with the parish development model, there were suggestions that women are supposed to be included to the queue, and then the women were like, no, we're not supposed to be given the same amount of money driven to the angle of the parish development model.
That was women entrepreneurs actually, which was earlier on now conjoined with the parish development model fund.
So, but then I think they're not vulnerable. It's just that it takes us back to how society had shaped the women. That maybe women are supposed to be treated in this particular angle. But then when I look at the past few years, I'm seeing women doing roles of the conductors and taxis. Very aggressive women. So things are changing, and there's always this huge challenge that they actually pose on the men. In most cases, when you find a lady driving a very huge car, there were cars that were designed to be more suitable for men according to society. And then you find a gentleman driving quite a different car, and then it is quite challenging for him to see a woman driving maybe, let's say, a V8 and the man is driving a Spacio. So when you look at that, but I for one believe society is actually changing, and we tend to understand that things are on the same level. The human rights have come in, and we believe we have to be equal in one way. But now I also have a question here regarding motherhood. I do believe it is the biggest blessing a woman receives from nature, and I've seen new mothers, if someone is just expecting the joy. I saw Rita when she was also expecting that band of joy. But then there is also the reality checker when it comes to the business life and the professional part of it. You've been employed or you have a business, and once you're off for, let's say, a labor leave, and then you either return
60 days maternity.
So then when you return back to your workplace, some people actually tend to return when they've lost their jobs. The others tend to return to their businesses when now the business is poorly performing. How best can a new mother, or I would say someone who has not been through this experience, go about this issue?
Thank you. There are 3 issues here that I would like every young mother to know. For those of us who have been around, we thank God we went through it. But every young mother, everybody planning to be a mother, if you're an entrepreneur, please plan for succession planning. Reason being that for as long as you're an entrepreneur and everything rotates around you, even if you're not just going to have a baby, chances are there could be hiccups and your business will have serious distortions or distractions if you have not planned. So always have, if I'm not here, then who is next to help me? That is for the entrepreneurs. Have a plan, have somebody, have an assistant. This assistant need not to be, by the way, and have systems in place. People, when they think of systems, they think of the corporate organization. But think of your shop and know that every morning from 7 to 7, I need somebody to be there. Now, start by discovery that you're pregnant 3 months. Start planning on who is going to sit there. Watch them, train them, so that when there is a gap, you're able to sit in. And this should not happen only because you're pregnant or you're going to be a mother. It should happen because anytime you need somebody to sit there when you are going to grow. If you have to grow, you must have a clear option B. If I'm not here, then what? That should be true for every entrepreneur. Now, for the professionals, the story becomes a bit different. You have specific job description, you have specific roles, and you have to perform them. Still, every good human resource officer will know that, oh, so-and-so is going on maternity leave, so please start handing over to so-and-so during this period. But let's go to our friends at NASA Road and the smaller businesses, whereby you have your desk, you have this place, and if you're not there, nobody else will be there. That is where the challenge is for the woman entrepreneur and even other entrepreneurs, not even the male ones. Sometimes you get sick, there are accidents. How do you plan for that? The main reason is to have option B. If I'm not here, there's somebody trained to do that. Now, for these people who do not even have, cannot afford to have somebody to be trained, then if you have systems in place, if your expectations are documented, if you know every day I have a book where I record this and this is what happens, my stocks are recorded like this, then it's easy even within just a month to get somebody to sit there. Many people, many entrepreneurs, especially the upcoming ones, have everything rotating around themselves. We call that self-employment and not entrepreneurship. And entrepreneurship,
self-employment.
Yes, you know, you're employing yourself and everything is around you, and you give yourself all the rights. And when you want
to grow, self-employers are not entrepreneurs.
Okay, please don't misunderstand me. Self-employment also can be entrepreneurship. But self-employment rotates around you. You are giving yourself a job. But when you want to be a good entrepreneur, go beyond employing yourself. Think about the fact that even if you are not there, your business can flow. Not just because you are away for maternity leave of 60 days, then something goes wrong. But of course, the saying goes that the best fertilizer are the gardener's feet. Don't lose eye or grip on what you're doing. I tell people, even when you're in the corporate setting and you're on maternity leave, please know what is happening in your department. Don't come back and it's like you are from another world. This is a digital era. So much changes every single day. So you go on leave because it is paid leave. In more developed countries, it's actually 9 months. So when you go, you lose touch completely. Remain in touch. Get to know what is my assistant or the person sitting in for me doing now. Sometimes you can even come in, we have now the virtual options. How do you support that assistant of yours? Because in any case, you're having a paid leave. So you don't nurse the baby 24/7. When you have a moment, get in touch with what is happening in your department. That way you become a little bit indispensable. When you become so dispensable, people realize they can do without you. Like you said, you come back and they're now planning for your exit. Because the labor laws are clear, they can't fire you when you're in maternity leave, they fire you as soon as you come back. We don't want that to happen. So remain relevant, remain supportive, even when you are on leave. And when it is your personal business, make sure you have proper systems so you still keep track of what is happening.
Okay, thank you so much. And maybe lastly from me, if you could try to be brief on this, we're trying to be timed as well. On days like this, International Day celebrations, we have got various of them and numerous of them, but on a Women's Day, how should women embrace it, or what should come in and we celebrate together with other people? And then what should be the government support here? What should society really entail towards that celebration?
I'll be honest, the current government has done enough to support women, just that maybe some women are not aware of some of these initiatives. So the real issue, the whole global aspect of Women's Day is to recognize the cultural, political, economic achievements that women have done. So I think the best way that society and the state and the government should do is to recognize those women that have made it, to be able to mentor those that are trying to come up, is to reward those that have made it, to be able to help those that are coming up, and to be able to educate those that are not yet there on the role they can play to be like those that have been rewarded or recognized. I don't know if I've been as brief as you wanted me to be.
Well, mine is when you talk about government helping the women and the women have less information about this, is the challenge with the women leaders, or the challenge now with the women themselves for not getting engaged in the government activities? Because there are some that don't have the relevant information regarding initiatives by government.
That really starts and ends with the quest for knowledge.
Okay.
Like somebody rightly said, vulnerability is in such ways that even when a woman is educated, when she's engrossed with nursing a baby, she doesn't even want to know what's happening on radio. They want to know what's happening on TV. They want to read a thing. So we encourage women, because many of them now are literate. Don't pass any information that can help you. Look out for that information. At Uganda Women Entrepreneurs, we have monthly breakfast meetings just to tell you what is the latest at URA, what is happening at PPDA, what is happening at URSB, so that you get to know the benefits that are available to you. But where you're not part of an association, this information is online. Many of us, when we go online, we spend more time at the jokes than at getting information that can help us. I could be a victim, but I've outgrown that. That when I use data, except for managing the business groups, by the way, I have a launch, allow me to pass this. I have a launch on 9th after Women's Day, and the launch is for Business Trendsetters Forum. But what
I'll give
I
you
do,
an invoice, Yvonne, but briefly, please, as
but to answer your question, if you spend most of your time on jokes and humor and then you lose out. The information is out there. How do you divide the family time with your business time? So information is key, and the government is doing what they have to do. And then, of course, having the information is not enough. Now, the action is where the circles, the flows of information from the leaders comes in. Indeed, we still have a challenge with leadership, not just with associations, but with the entire leadership. Some people are selfish with information. They know that there is this opportunity for women, but they want to first wait until their cousin, uncle, auntie comes in. Now we're saying the information is on the open market. How do we ensure that there is fairness in everybody accessing it in the right way. Of course, the medium are there, but we
Okay.
also have to fight as ourselves.
Okay, thank you so much, and thank you again for honoring our invitation. Yvonne, you'll have a blessed day from here. And Jerome, thank you for being part of the discussion as well. And everyone who has been part, you can always continue to engage on it on our social media platforms at Smart24 TV. Coming up shortly is Jerome Paul Sonko bringing to you Business and Sport.